Entrepreneurship. I am the founder and executive director of Daybreak, an adult day program, and I'm going to tell you my who, my why, and my how. My who. I am a daughter, a mother of 3 outstanding young men, a lover of hockey, theater, and pizza, not necessarily in that order, a widow, an advocate, and #1 fan of people living with dementia and their caregivers. And most importantly, I was a granddaughter, which leads me to my how. My why. I was raised, but not born in Colorado Springs by my parents, who are alive and well living in Glen Eagle, and they are in their early 80s. But if you asked my grandma on my dad's side, my beautiful Grandma B, she would tell you she raised me. She would say that because most Friday nights when I was growing up, you could find me at their house spending the night, and my grandpa would drop us off at the Elks Club, bingo night, Friday night bingo night. Nice. And I would sit next to my grandma, and she would get 9 or 12 cards, and she would pray so hard that she would get the winning numbers. She would not only just pray, she would get her Jesus, Mary, Joseph statues and make a barricade of those around her bingo cards. I thought they were action figures, but they were the real deal. They were statues. And she would pray. She would not only be praying, but she would be smoking like a chimney, waiting for that winning number. And that's where I was most Friday nights, which is why she said she raised me. Not very popular discussion with my mother. But anyway, my grandparents were a huge part of my growing up, and they lived into my late 20s, early 30s. In fact, all 4 of them were present at our wedding almost 30 years ago. So because of them, I grew to have a genuine love, appreciation, and keen curiosity for the older generation. So backtrack a little bit to my how. In college, I started out as a nutrition major, which quickly changed after my very first chemistry class. I went back to my dorm and grabbed the major catalog, because nothing was online then, and quickly found a new major. It was recreation, but the fancy name for it was leisure science, where I went. So I was a leisure science major, and I could have a focus of gerontology, which I jumped right into. And part of that major was to do 2 field works. And I came home in the summer and did one at the Colorado Springs Senior Center with healthy seniors, and I did the second one at a nursing home with the geriatric senior. And I loved that population. So when I graduated from college, I went back to that same nursing home, and I got a job there as an activities assistant. And at that time, in '89, they had just put secured doors up at the end of a hallway and called it an Alzheimer's unit. And that they needed someone to do something with the people that were back on that unit, just walking the halls. And there was, I think, 16 people on that unit, and there was a little room at the end of the hall, and that was their activity room. And I was supposed to, day after day, go back and figure out how to entertain these folks that had an attention span of 0 and a memory of below 0. And I found my calling just after day 1. So from that job, I became an activity therapist at a state-of-the-art facility, 65-bed, still standing today, just behind the Broadmoor. At that facility, I was able to develop an adult day program on their lower level, and then I was the administrator before I left that facility in 1999 with my second child in utero. Fast forward to 2014, we had moved to Woodland Park. 3 boys later, 2 restaurants, 4 dogs, and numerous boards and committees, I found myself volunteering for the Alzheimer's Association, doing their caregiver support groups, facilitating those groups. I wanted to keep my hand in the Alzheimer's arena even though I wasn't working full-time in that setting. So that led me to where I am today. Those caregivers that I was helping through that group, they couldn't get away for an hour to get support because they had no place for their loved one to go for an hour. They had no help. They could not get away. So I saw a need. I developed a day program where they could bring their loved one. They could get a break in their day for an hour, a couple hours. Every day of the week we have some people come, and that's what led me to Daybreak, an adult day program. Thank you.
All right, we're about to move into 20 minutes of Q&A. Can I give you all a challenge today? Yes. So there's 2 ways to look at these 20-minute Q&A sessions. One is, I want information, I want to learn more, so I'm going to ask Paula a question. She's going to give me information. That's what we would call a transaction. We're a community of contribution here, so the other way to view it is, I want to contribute to Paula and the people around and contribute to her business, the opportunity to get feedback from this community. So there's 2 different ways. So even if you don't have a question or information that you want, you have the option to contribute still today. So who's going to contribute first?
And some slides from our program are going to be looping, so you can kind of get an idea of what.
There's also questions on your table.
Back here.
Yes?
I know you can't see because of the lights. Paul, what's been, we've gone through a year of, what's been your greatest struggle over the last year with this program, your clients? Tell us about how you've overcome what we've all went through over this last year, because I'm sure it impacted you in some way.
Tremendously. COVID impacted us tremendously. In fact, we didn't know if we were going to survive COVID. We're a very small program. We can serve 5 people at a time because of the size of our building. With the help of PPP money, we were able to stay open. We were able to Zoom activities. We Zoomed activities into our participants' home. We did drive-by birthday parties for some of them. We Christmas caroled to each home, and as we were leaving, they all yelled, "Don't quit your day job, please." Yeah, we stayed connected. We made sure that the caregivers were still supported, even though they could not get that break that they so desperately needed. And so we were fortunate to have survived the pandemic. Yes?
Give us a little, everyone's not familiar with an adult day program. Tell us a little bit about Daybreak, how long you've been operating, and some of the great things that have happened through your program.
Good question. Daybreak has been open since May of 2015, and I had found the need and saw the need and decided to fill it in our community. I found a house that I saw quickly could become the program. I just saw a vision for the house, and then I started figuring out what it would take. I have never done nonprofit before, so that was a new learning curve. And when we met with the owner of the building, we just leased the building, he said, "What would it take for you to get this up and running?" I said, "I have no idea, but I'll go home and Google." And so I did. And I Googled National Adult Day Service Associations, and I joined as an individual. And the next thing that came in my email was their webinars for the week, and the next Thursday was, "So you want to open an adult day program?" Nice. I'm like, yes. Yeah. And then from that that time forward, everything fell into place like that. The stars aligned like that. You know, nonprofits aren't supposed to get funding for 3 years. Until they're up and running for 3 years, foundations don't want to talk to you at all. And we broke that mold. We got funding right out of the gate because we filled a need that wasn't being met. We are considered rural up in Teller County, and my experience spoke volumes to funders. I've been doing this for 30 plus years, and so it wasn't like I woke up one day and said, I think I'll work with old people today. You know, it's been my jam for quite a while, so yes.
Paula, what is your greatest challenge right now that you've made it through COVID? And you said you're a small facility. What is your greatest challenge?
Our greatest challenge right now, and it actually started about 3 years ago, we outgrew our facility probably 3 years ago. It's a home setting, but it's set in a commercial zone. So it's residential and commercial, which helps us. Our tagline is we're a home away from home. So that's what it's all about. People come in and they feel at home immediately. So our challenge is to find a bigger building. We've almost got close 4 times, 3 times just recently this year, and the deals have fallen through. We need a new location, hopefully 3,000 square feet. We're currently in a 1,000 square foot building with 1 bathroom. You guys figure that one out. So we're looking for maybe over 3,000 square foot building. Commercial, it has to be commercial, but I won't compromise, it has to feel like home, or it has to be able to be made to feel like home. So I'm not gonna go into a sterile strip mall or whatever. I have to be able to really make it feel like home for our participants. So that's our biggest challenge right now.
You said that you're involved in a lot of things in the community. Can you expand on that? And then also tell us, how do families pay for this?
So community-wise, we have been up there this is our 23rd year. We actually moved to Woodland Park. My husband was in the restaurant business. Now my son is in the restaurant business. We moved for the Swiss Chalet restaurant in Woodland Park, and we also own the Pepper Tree restaurant down here. So that was why we moved to Woodland Park. Community-wise, I am involved with Rotary and Toastmasters. We just chartered a club up in Woodland Park, the Chamber. I started the Golden Bridge Network, which is kind of a mini senior resource council up here. All the organizations that serve seniors in Teller County, we band together and make sure there's not an overlap of services and that we are meeting the needs of our seniors in Teller County. What else? How our services are paid. We do charge fee for service, but we also get great support from foundations that we can offer financial assistance to our families. We have an incredible collaboration with Easter Seals of Colorado, where our families can apply for a caregiver respite award, and that's not based on financial, it's based on their need for respite care, and they get $500 to $1,000 over a 3-month period of time. But Daybreak, as an approved facility, can also apply for a grant. So our grant dollars can pick up where their voucher leaves off. And over the last 3 years, we probably have gotten over $100,000 worth of grant money that we can just allocate however we want. So very few of our families pay 100% of their services. Other services we provide at Daybreak, we can give a bath or shower, we can pass medication. We have a foot care nurse that comes every other month and does their feet. We have a hairdresser, volunteer hairdresser, that comes in every month and cuts hair for free. We have pets, we have, well, you've probably seen some of them. We have pets, we have musicians, we have a new vehicle coming our way, but we are out in the community a ton, engaging them with community where otherwise they wouldn't be able to do that. We, what else do we do? We just have a lot of fun. Can you tell? We have a ton of fun. So, any other questions? Yes?
So, do you have new patients that come all the time, or how long do you usually keep somebody or care for them? Kind of what does that look like?
Yeah, because we can only have 5 people at a time, people have set schedules usually. We have to kind of screen people because I've done this long enough where people say, oh, my mom she's way higher functioning than what's going on here. And then we see them and we're like, yeah, no. But that's okay, that's why we screen them. We have a lady that's been with us probably for 5 years. She comes every day of the week, 8 to 6. Because she lives with her daughter that works in the community. She owns a garage, so she's with us really more than she's with her family at home. We have others that just have random schedules, and we have a big master schedule so we can fit everyone in. Before COVID, we had 3 kinds of waiting lists. We were overflowing before COVID. We had a wait list for people who were waiting to get in the program, just a day, an afternoon. We had an internal wait list for people who were in that wanted more days and hours. And then we had an on-call wait list for people that said, if someone cancels call, we'll be there in 5 minutes. You know, caregivers need a break, and they'll do whatever it takes to get a break. So right now, COVID did a number on our families. So we lost 12 families, participants during COVID. 5 passed away, not all to COVID, but we lost 5. 3 were moved to other family in another state so that they could be better supported. And let me do the math, 4 were placed in facilities because without our service, families just could not sustain them at home. They absolutely needed the break. I've been doing this long enough that I've seen caregivers die taking care of their loved one because without a break, they let everything about them go by the wayside. And then they end up sick. They end up not going to the doctor because all the focus is on their loved one, and they died before their loved one. So, yes?
First, I want to say how inspiring it is to know your story. I got to spend a lot longer on a Zoom call with you, so I wish everyone could hear what I heard, because it's so inspiring. It's so great to see someone in their zone like you. And because of this, I know that some people have asked you to franchise because you're so dynamic at what you do in every zone of this, but that's led to another opportunity that you're flying with as well, right? About that a little bit?
My consulting?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've been doing this, like I said, for 30 plus years, and people send people my way. Oh, my friend Paula, she'll help you. She knows, she'll talk to you. Just go call Paula. And so I've been doing that for free for a long time. And so just recently I decided to make it more of a formal platform. And so I'm in the process of starting my own consulting business. And I will grandfather those that have been helped for free because I don't want to shock them. But it's called Never Alone Consulting. And so I'll be helping caregivers via Zoom, in person, phone, group, family support. We can get families across the country on a Zoom call, and so that we can get everyone on the same page. I have a partner in Santa Fe. Great small world story. I actually took care of her mom 30 years ago at Namaste, and we were at the same virtual conference, and we connected. And now we're offering a Care Partner Support Series virtually together. So that's really, really neat. So yeah, so I'm kicking off a consulting business also.
So we're
statistic, 20,000 people turn 65 and over every single day. And that's gonna happen until, I think it's 2025, 2023, right? So we're seeing the greatest influx of baby boomers starting to hit our system. And so that makes me wonder, we've talked a little bit, and I've had a consulting business where I was working with caregivers, and having been a caregiver myself. What do you see the need to be, and how does that affect your program? Will you expand to take on more participants? And then, what does that look like as an industry as a whole?
Right. So we are very unique in what we offer. There are other day programs in the Springs that offer services to the younger developmentally disabled adult, but we are really a unique one-stop shop, all-inclusive type of senior day program. Our target population is 60 and over, although we will look at a younger participant case by case, and it's only going to grow. So I'd love to get a larger facility. Right now we serve 3 counties. We have people that come from El Paso County up to our program, not just the bottom of the hill. We have people that come from Village 7, Fort Carson. We have people that come from Hartselle, Park County, to our program. We had a gentleman who, I think he was riding the ice slide in the picture. He moved with his family to Evergreen. He was living with his brother and his sister-in-law. They moved to Evergreen to be closer to their kids. And for 8 months, twice a month, they drove him back to Daybreak so he could stay connected to the community that he created for himself. So people are traveling to see us. So our need right now is we're getting a new vehicle from CDOT any day. Right now, the vehicle we have is a 1994 Ford Econovan, and we put this pole in. We call it the stripper pole. It's nice and red, but they literally have to play Twister to get in and out of our van. This new vehicle is going to be body on chassis, seats 14, 2 wheelchair seats, and we'll be able to fit everyone, volunteers, and serve, be able to pick up people, get them back and forth to our program, go on outings comfortably. And we just wrote a grant so we could hopefully pay for a driver for that purpose, pick up and drop off. And so, yeah, we're hoping to, I don't want to franchise, but we'll see.
I'm just curious, you brought up, you made a point of self-care. What do you, with everything you're doing, which is all wonderful and beautiful, what do you do for a break?
Well, I stood up so I wouldn't sit down, because whenever I sit down, I fall asleep. What do I do? Is this off or on? Can you hear me?
No.
I know the batteries are good. Don't hold it on the bottom.
Okay,
Break
there.
up the
There you go.
Wi-Fi. So just don't hold it that much at the bottom.
Okay, gotcha. What do I do for, that's a great question. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Good answer.
All right, we have time for the super special questions. Who wants to ask? Robert?
Paula, I know you're in Teller County, you've talked about serving, but what can we as a Colorado Springs community do to support you?
I think get the word out about day programs. A lot of people don't understand what they're about, and I don't even know if I got to that point. Day programs' primary purpose is to prevent a premature nursing home placement. So often the caregiver at home is so tired and so burnt out, they want to quickly place their person. I can't do this anymore, I'm going to put you in a nursing home. When all they need is a day program to allow them the chance to regroup, recharge, and refresh, and go back for more. So people are placed prematurely, they progress, they deteriorate faster, and they die faster. When a day program can help the family keep their loved one at home for longer and engage in community and allow the caregiver to get a break. So let people know what they're about. We are part of Indie Give every year, so you can donate through that platform. You can check us out on our website. We're always looking for volunteers. I'd love for you, any of you, just to stop by and check us out. It's always fun to, there's Jim. It's always fun to see what we have going on in person. Come have lunch. Yeah, we're fortunate because they get Swiss Chalet lunch every day. They just happen to have a connection. So, but yeah, just spread the word. And if you have any more questions or want to come see us, or just, and if you know of a building that looks like a home but is commercial, let me know, because we desperately need a bigger space. So.
What's the best way to connect? The website, but if they have somebody in mind that needs your services, what's the best way to connect?
Just call the 687-3000 number, or my cell number is also on the business card. So I have one last funny story to tell. So Dean, he's in a picture with me. I think it's coming up, just our faces. He was our very first participant at Daybreak, and he was there on our ribbon cutting, our chamber ribbon cutting, and he, traumatic brain injury, very no filter, and I thought, there was a bunch of people there. I thought, well, Dean's our very first participant. Why don't we get him up? He can help me cut the ribbon and say a few words. What was I thinking? So he comes up, he's got the scissors in his hand, and I said, Dean, what do you have to say? And he said, they make me come here. I was like, oh, cake for everyone. Don't print that. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much.